So since I posted my breakfast video, I got a request for a meal number 2. Seems that I have some interest in what people want to know when I'm going on a bulk. And this is meal number 2. I like to stick with a protein source. That's my number 1 rule. You know, I'm always going to have a protein source with every meal. I actually won't even eat if I can't have a protein source. So it's just that important to me. So I'm going to go with the protein source, and then I'm going to go with the carb source again, and I'm going to go with the small fat source again. So it's technically, you know, macronutrient wise, it's not a whole lot different than breakfast, but I'm not going to use the same. I'm not going to use the same nutrient sources. So I'm just going to show you guys my sources and take it from there. Okay, so I have my protein sources laid out here. Actually, just my protein source. I like to go with cottage cheese in the morning. Still, it's nice and convenient. It's typically something that you're going to have to take to work, so it's just easy to put in Tupperware. I'm just going to toss in a bowl because, of course, I'm not at work, I'm at home. So what I'm going to do is I like to personally go with about 3 to 4 servings, just depending on how many calories I want to take in that day. So once again, you know, always have your scale. You can't really follow a good diet plan without a nice scale, okay? You want to get that digital scale going. Okay, so I got my cottage cheese ready. You can see that that's nice and simple too. If you guys know me, you know that I'm big on convenience, because if a meal plan isn't convenient, it's really not going to get followed. So convenience is key. Cottage cheese is big on convenience. Typically, you know, a person will not really prefer the taste of just plain cottage cheese, and I'm one of those people. So what I like to do is add some fruit in. That's going to be part of my carb source for my meal number 2. So I always add some fruit. My favorites are going to be blueberries, pineapple, raspberries, or strawberries. Frozen blueberries, frozen fruits are super easy, super convenient. What I'm going to do is just add about 100 grams of these. A serving is about 140. I usually don't get too technical on my berries just because there's not a lot of calories in them. And it's more or less for a tasting. And keep in mind, this is, you know, for a bulk diet, so you can be off a few hundred calories every day. It's not that big of a deal. The main point is just that you're getting the food in. So far I have my protein source fully set up, and just a partial carb source. Okay, so 1% cottage cheese, about 3 or 4 servings worth, and just blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, or pineapple, just for your taste. Okay, so you saw that the blueberries were a partial carb source. Of course, we're going to have a little more than that. I'd like to stick to oatmeal again for my second meal. Oats are going to be my favorite carb. They're definitely my favorite carb. I mean, they can't really be beat. It's convenient, it's easy, I think it tastes good, nutritional, can't really top it. So with my oats, I like to go with around 3 servings, 2 to 3 servings depending on the person. Personally for me, I'm going to do 120 grams right now, which is 3 servings. So easy enough. Once again, it's all about convenience. Just dump them in the bowl. Very simple. All right, so you've got your proper amount, and you know that because you've got your scale, which is key. Remember that. Now, a lot of people don't really do this. I like to mix some applesauce in with my oatmeal. To me, it tastes like apple crisp. It's one of the things that really helps me eat my oatmeal. It tastes great, and once again, it's super simple. You can put this stuff in Tupperware. You don't even have to add water until you're ready to eat it hours later at work. So it's very easy, and sometimes actually you don't even have to add water because the applesauce provides the moisture for the meal. So what I'm going to do is I usually go with a serving or 2 of applesauce. You can see it's not really calorie dense. 1 serving is only 50 calories, so I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to go with 250 grams. Okay, so I've got my applesauce laid out. That's going to give me about 26 carbs. My oatmeal is going to give me roughly, roughly 90 carbs because I had about 3 servings at roughly 30 each. So I've got a pretty big meal going here, and but that's okay because I'm bulking and you just got to get those calories in. I think it's a great idea to get your carbs in earlier in the day. Just fill up on those carbs and then you'll be primed for your workout and you'll be good to go. So what I like to do is just add a little cinnamon to that. Just like my breakfast, I like the cinnamon. Just kind of brings out that apple crisp flavor, which makes it taste excellent if you ask me. And so what I've got going here now is my protein source and my carb source. As far as fat source goes, just toss in a couple almonds, a couple walnuts, a couple fish oil caps. Once again, you don't want to go crazy on the fat source, especially early in the day. I like to keep the fats for later in the day, especially like pre-bed. So basically your breakfast is done here. You've got your protein source, 1% cottage cheese with a little bit of fruit for taste. Your main carb source, oatmeal, applesauce if you prefer it. I highly recommend it, and a little bit of cinnamon for taste. And this is basically good to go. I mean, you've got meal number 2 set up. It's a big meal, healthy. It's going to keep you full for a long time. It's going to give you energy for the rest of the day and for your workout later that day. So you're all set. So it's good to know the foods, but it's also good to know your macronutrient breakdown. You have to know that. And I just like to mention that this meal, the way that I made it, it's a big meal. It's not going to be for everybody. If you're bulking, you want to be 200 plus pounds to have a meal this big. If you're not that big, I'd scale it down a little bit. But we've got roughly 50 to 60 grams of protein here, roughly 120 to 140 carbs, and with your fat source added in, if you want to add in about 10 grams of fat, you're going to have about 20 grams of fat. So that's a pretty big meal, like I said, and it's definitely going to help you grow. It's definitely going to fill you up. And that's how you want to feel when you're bulking. You don't really want to feel hungry, basically ever. The only time you should feel hungry is when you wake up in the morning and then you get that nice big meal in. So, meal number 2, big meal, and just good luck on your bulk. I just want to give you guys a close-up view of the meal number 2 that I like to eat when I'm bulking. Blueberries, cottage cheese, oats, applesauce, and a little bit of cinnamon.